What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. That's right. You read the title correctly. Kai Greene, as of today, will not be competing in the Mr. Olympia 2015 in his famed rematch with Phil the Gift Heath. That's right. You read it right, man. It's crazy, and I'll link his video below, but Kai Greene also did a video where he broke into tears, said he can't explain it anymore. Now, the reason being is that he supposedly missed a registration deadline, and there's also some reports of why he missed that. Now, Kai Greene is starting a supplement line. I believe there's partners involved, which means that, it's not like Kai Greene's going to be sitting in a polo shirt every day at a desk, pushing papers, but his name is on the product. So let's just call it his line. Okay, it's his line. Regardless of who owns it, who runs it, whatever, it's his line. Okay, for the sake of this conversation. Now, allegedly, Kai Greene's agent or his people went to the American media, the people who run the Olympia, and those aren't necessarily the IFBB. This is a business thing, okay? And he went to them and he said, hey, I'm not competing in the Mr. Olympia. Again, this is off of the information we have, and this could be 100% wrong, but this is all we have right now. Till Jim Mannion comes out and somebody says something from IFBB, who's horrible at keeping everybody apprised of what's going on. You know what? This is all we have to go on. So they went and they requested a 20 by 20 booth with no union fees. Now, as someone who exhibits at the Olympia, as someone who's done it since 2004, basically that's per space. That's 4 total spaces. It's $2,500 per space. So it's $10,000. Now, the union fees, depending on how big and elaborate their booth is, can be anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000 to $15,000. That's how crazy it is. So allegedly, there was a standoff saying, look, I want this free stuff for my company. And American media is like, or I'm not competing. And American media is like, no, that's not how it works here. It's night and it's day. Now, this is also coming from someone who worked for Weider Publications, American media, from the year 2000 to 2004 or 2003. Well, 1999, 2003. I know how this works. You can't do that. You can't just give free booth spaces. We never did, and I'm sure they never did. And I'm sure that makes them evil people. But here's what happened is there was a line drawn in the sand, and Kai's like, well, I'm not signing it. The deadline came, and American media, just to avoid being punked, said, fine, you're not in the Olympia. The show must go on without you. That's my guess to what happened. Robin Chang and everybody behind the Olympia, I'm sure they wanted Kai Greene. And I'm reading some comments and stuff, and it's really crazy because I've been up for a while reading comments, and I'm just looking into this because it's something people want to know. And being that I did work for Weider and I did, assist in procuring venues for the Olympia and being a part of the Olympia, it's something that I have a little more breadth of than just another guy on YouTube. A little more knowledge of how this goes on. Look, American media couldn't buckle on this. You can't set precedent where an athlete can come around swinging their dick. And this is all, again, I'm assuming. I'm just kind of hypothesizing of what could happen. Again, it could be all wrong. This is based on information we have. You can't have an athlete go around swinging dick and holding you, by there. At the end of the day, American media looks at it like this. Kai Greene's one of 20 or whatever people is in the Olympia people. And to read comments and see that people are like, I'm sure Phil is happy. Trust me, as someone who knows Phil, who everybody accuses me of being Phil's right-hand man or his bitch, whatever, doesn't work like that in real life, kids. I'm nobody's bitch. But Phil Heath wants to compete against Kai Greene. Phil Heath has been training to compete against Kai Greene all year. So as someone who's going to be at the Olympia, covering this via his Twitter, it's going to be covered via content.tigerfitness.com. We'll have the results up right away. I'm going to be periscoping as much as possible from the actual show in just 4 days. What do I think? I think that this gives us an opportunity to look and say, okay, there's more to this. Let's just not jump off the bridge right now and say, all right, the IFBB sucks. It's all politics. They want Phil to win. There's more to it than There's a lot of business involved in this situation. It's business. At the end of the day, this is a business, okay? We also get a chance to look at the other people in the lineup. It's a phenomenal, probably one of the better Olympia lineups since the heyday in the late 90s, early 2000s. We had Sean Ray, Chris Cormier, Flex Wheeler, Ronnie Coleman. That was the best era in bodybuilding, period. I don't care what anybody says. And this era doesn't come close. But this year you have an up-and-coming Big Ramy coming for it. You have Sean Roden. I mean, you have so many wonderful, amazing competitors coming to the stage that we're just focusing on two people. So instead of saying, I'm not going to Olympia, I'm going to email the IFBB and tell them they suck. Look, I'm not going to put this one on Mannion. I'm not going to put this one on American media. Every other person on this internet is going to blame American media, is going to blame Weider, is going to blame the IFBB, is going to blame Mannion. And as someone who comes down in the NPC IFBB every day of my life, I'm going to look you straight in the eye and say, this is a business decision. I'm 90% sure, and again, I'm leaving 10% for not knowing all the facts, that they had to draw a line in the sand, and they had to say, you know what? You want a booth or you're not competing? Looks like you're sitting this one out, bro. It is what it is. It's business. Okay? A lot of you guys look at this like, oh, Kai versus Phil. It's like some fairy tale story, some superhero storybook thing. Guys, this is like the NFL. This is like anything. This is a business. And if Kai's agent really did what reportedly they did, he's not competing unless he gets $20,000 in free booth space, while every other, and also realize the booths are full. I mean, I don't know when they requested this, but you can't get a booth at the Olympia now. Not a 40, not a 20 by 20. You're not going to buy that configuration. So, I mean, you guys need to look at it from a business standpoint and just realize that I've been there. I've worked for Weider. I've actually toured the Mandalay, and I'm the one who was there when they signed the contract, when they did the deal with the Mandalay. I mean, the last year. I've done that. I've been there, and no one else on the internet has. So before, I'm not asking you to side with Jim Mannion. I'm not asking you to side with Robin Chang and all the people at American media. I'm asking you to keep an open mind and realize that Kai, maybe not Kai himself, but Kai's people could have been the one who messed up here. I'm Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. I'll see you at the Olympia. I don't care if Phil's not going. I don't care if Kai's not going. It is disrespectful to the rest of the wonderful athletes who freaking qualified for the Olympia not to watch it, not to cheer it on, just as if Kai was there. I'm sorry for Kai. Sorry he's in tears. But sometimes, you know what? Like in football, I've had a couple games back in my heyday when I was younger, when we lost, and I had the best game of my life. Fucking sacks, pancake blocks. I was rocking it, right? Yet we still lost because the team let me down. From what I'm looking at, looks like Kai, looks like your team let you down. And that's not a game.